Сейчас кайф поймаем.
А я первый кайф поймал.
What's up, people? DNZY here, back with another video. I posted my song last night. I was out last night. Excuse me. We're back here in Casa de la DNZY because we're here to discuss the new single by Eminem. The fucking new single, man. It's a new fucking single, and it's got me pumped. It's got me fucking... It wants me to go out and protest and fucking just put up signs, and it's also got me a little embarrassed. It's got me embarrassed as a white dude. It does. It does. For those who don't fucking know, okay, he didn't even, like, post it as a thing, okay, and make it a publicity stunt. He just... If you happen to go on Apple Music and see that Revival... his new album coming out, was there ready to download, but all the tracks were grayed out. The one track was ready to play. Untouchable. Eminem's Untouchable, and this is the Eminem Untouchable review. Let's go. Oh wait, is that where an intro goes? My intro already happened. All right, let's do this. This song is a political. It's a political one. And it touches on some really heavy facts. It's touching on the interplay of white versus black in America, cops versus African Americans, Republicans versus Democrats. It has a lot to say in this song. And it's also fucking fire, man. Okay? And don't let the shady shirt fool you. Like, I critique this shit. And I know I got some friends out there. Chase, you don't know him, but he knows I'm a stan. And he critiques the shit out of me for that. But it's fine, because I really do try to go into this unbiased as I can and just kind of take myself out from the Eminem fandom that I've surrounded myself with and try to go into it with a head from somebody who's into other shit, metal and everything else, and see what they got to say with this. And so what I did was I reached out to people on Reddit, went to the Eminem subreddit, and I asked them, listen, I know you guys are Eminem fans, you know, just like I am, but tell me your true thoughts. Tell me what you think of it politically. Tell me what you think of it personally. Does it relate? Does it touch on subjects? And I got some crazy feedback. We'll get into that in a little bit, but the one thing I want to note about this song is how first Eminem, one of the things that stuck out to me was like him discussing why we send white suburban cops into black neighborhoods. And you think like already that's a good point, or at least maybe you could see it as a good point, but then he kind of just goes, whoa, why do we have black neighborhoods? And then he goes, they Section 8'd us, they separated us. And this song is really cool in the sense of it starts out with the perspective of white cops, and then it goes into like kind of the second verse goes into like the same people, then it goes into it cuts off that person, goes into his point of view, and then it goes into at the end like actual African Americans, like their point of view, and he speaks as them, you know, like if you listen to the song and you don't understand the message, you're gonna be like, did Eminem just call himself black? He's not saying that. He's literally playing a fictional character and speaking as if the whole group of people who have been racially profiled, like this is their voice, this is how they feel. And as somebody who grew up in Detroit, being the minority, okay, people want to think minorities mean blacks and Hispanics, but no, it just means the minority. That's what that word should mean. And it's been pretty crazy for him where he grew up, that him being white in that area, he was the minority. So as somebody who grew up in it, lifelong friends have been dealing with these struggles, he totally understands. And I'm sure that he didn't just write this, you know, he definitely did research. He definitely talked to people and said, what's your struggle? People want to curse him out for that Donald Trump cipher. I think that shit was fucking hard, man. I mean, the guy's fucking up. You know, I'm like, let's give him a chance. Just the way I say with every president that I've been alive through. Stop it. He's elected. Let's see what happens. And I think M was like that too, because he didn't say shit at the beginning, and you know, it's only a few months in, but a lot of bad stuff's happening. And you know, he realized like, look, he's like, I'm Eminem, I'm rich, I'm famous, you know, what can I say now? We've heard about his life story, we've heard about his struggles. Walk on Water came out first, and that was still him talking about his inner pain, his inner worries. As Eminem fans, we love that shit, but he's also realizing like, okay, there's only so much that people are gonna hear about that. Nothing really has changed. He's got his daughter, he's raising them well, everybody's happy. So now he's got this anger on a more social level, which is really cool because there's so many people out there feeling this shit, and they can't even with Facebook and social media. If you're just a regular person, you kind of get drowned out, unless you do something stupid and go viral. But your voice usually gets drowned out, and it doesn't get heard. Somebody like this, they're going to speak for the people, and they're gonna, this is gonna cause some controversy. I definitely think this is going to cause some controversy. This is pretty crazy. The fact that Eminem even goes in and touches on gerrymandering, if you guys don't know what that is, that's how politicians, once elected, can actually change districts. If you go and look at your district and look at the shape, it is so fucking weird. And for anybody who lives in a minority area or a Section 8 area, I mean, seriously, go look at the scope of your district. Go look at how it's outlined, and you'll see that it just doesn't make sense. They don't use clear shapes. They go very hard off of the what's that thing called, where they check out Americans, I forget the name of it. You know what it is. You're gonna fucking be like, duh, stupid. But they use those polls, and they see who's living in what area, and anytime something changes, they can easily change districts. It's called gerrymandering. It's a real thing. I can't believe it's not illegal, because there's usually really bad intentions behind it. So the fact that he even talks about gerrymandering, that's insane. That's how are there black areas? The song is really on the pulse of what's going on today. Like I said, the first couple of verses, white cops versus the white cops in the first two verses, and at the end he's like, it's embarrassing to be white. This is a guy who's every day he looks down at the color of his skin, and you got to tread lightly when you say shit like this as a white guy, because it's like you're gonna have people going, okay, but still, man, you're white. Yeah, and some of us are self-aware enough that there is a fucking problem, and we want to help, and we're trying to do what we can, and he's using his platform to take it there. So, every day it's harder and harder to just wake up and be like, okay. And I live in Los Angeles, so every day I'm constantly hearing it, and for me it's one of those things where when I go out and walk, I never have these thoughts. Oh, cop's gonna bother me, cop's gonna search me, this and that. And there's people in the city who deal with that. And on the flip side, Eminem also mentions making the good cops look bad because they're the bad cops. I actually know some of the cops out here. Just when I used to work at a coffee shop, they would come in and I would hook them up. I didn't care what color they were. They had a badge on. I'd say thank you. Hook them up with some free coffee. They're putting their lives on the line every day, and that's how I feel. But that's probably the most conservative feelings that I have. Everything else is okay, there's problems. Let's fucking get it done. I like to think logically. I don't like to think racially or this and that. But you can't deny that these aren't issues. But these cops have even talked to me and said, I'm only scared when the situation is scary. He goes, I treat these people like the people they are. They're citizens. They're free citizens unless deemed otherwise, unless there's reasonable cause or reasonable suspicion. He said that he was driving around, he just gets threats, people just saying they're going to shoot him, whatever. And a lot of it might just be talk, but when you're a cop, that's got to be a little scary, because out of 20, 30 people, maybe one of them's fucking real about it. But when M raps about it, it's more about from the views of I'd say redneck cops, where they're just like he's doing the accent about them, and you definitely understand it. It's pretty crazy. And then he dives into education and how our education sucks and how McDonald's is the only people hiring. One of the lines that stuck out is how you tell minorities and you tell all these people and you tell anybody, pick yourself up from your bootstraps. And then he goes into these lyrics about how people are fighting and killing each other over shoes because of the poverty being so bad that when one person just gets a little step ahead, the other person, he's like, pull ourselves up from our bootstraps. Where the fuck are our boots? It's fucking nuts. There's some lines in here. Home of the brave is still Racistville. So this whole nation feels like a plantation field. Here's a white guy, and he's rapping from, like I said, the perspective of African Americans and minorities and everybody who in one way or another, or one time or another in their life, has gotten, they felt that hate without somebody getting to know them. And to me, I can't stand that. That's just really bad. I'm the type of person where, as stupid and goofy as I am, and as much as I like to push people's buttons, at the end of the day, man, I like to judge people on their actions and as a person. I mean, your skin color has nothing to do with it. I've met black people, African American. I've met people of many races and shades and colors and orientations who are like the coolest people out there. And then I've met people as straight as an arrow, as white as myself, who I fucking despise. Okay, it has nothing to do with your color. But unfortunately, the rest of the country is like that. This whole song is 6 minutes, over 6 minutes. And honestly, it's got this vibe to it where it kind of reminds me of like that late 80s, early 90s, like fight the power kind of anthem. One of the cool things Eminem says, like, he feels like we're drifting back into the 60s. I mean, it's every day we go on and you see this shit on the news and you see these reports, and now with Facebook and Instagram and Twitter being so transparent that every little wrongdoing or even good right doing gets shown, you see it now. And let's not forget this track. It's still straight fire, okay? It's different, it's unique, kind of brings back some old school Eminem that you're used to, like 2002 Eminem. And then the rhyme schemes with what I call the invasion of the littles today, a little Pump and a little Uzi Vert and all these. You know, I'm not a fan of the trap rap, but I don't want to be that guy who's like, fuck mumble rappers. I mean, look, music is subjective. Your own vibe is your own vibe. You want to listen to something that doesn't make zero sense, and it just has this beat that you can ride to, vibe to, maybe you're fucking to it. You know, hey, do you. One of the lines towards the end that stuck out of the song is like where he goes, a Kaepernick tantrum, national anthem, and he rhymes those together, and to me that's just fucking like, yo, Kaepernick tantrum, you would never think that. And he made them not only rhyme but fit into the context of what's going on with the whole Colin Kaepernick taking a knee and everybody in Trump getting pissed off and everything. Damn. After a few times of listening to this, I'm not gonna lie, I sat there, I cried a little. Not like a bitch, but it's just like you listen to it a few times and you almost get to the point where you're mad about the situation that he's talking about, and it's just crazy. So like I said, when I asked people on Reddit what they thought, some people, like one person said, it's not like it's some political genius shit, but it is very in your face, and that's what we need right the fuck now. I mean, you can feel it. So a lot of these fans in the Eminem subreddit, they really have a lot to say. So I asked them, what do you like about this song? What do you dislike? What are your opinions on it politically? What are your opinions on it personally? Does it speak to you? Do you think it makes valid points? And if Eminem asked you to critique it with the hard truth, what would you say? Some people are kissing ass to Eminem, and I feel like if Eminem asked me, which will never happen, but I feel like if he ever asked me to like critique his music, I'd be like, listen, your music to me got me through a lot growing up. We kind of had the same childhood together. With that said, here's some songs where I think the effort could have been more. You've shown your talent, and as a musician, you can do more with that. Does that mean that you're not allowed to go through personal shit? No. Does that mean you can't be human? Of course. I mean, this is exactly what he's talking about. But some people are kissing ass when I asked that question. But I asked that question on the Eminem subreddit. So here's a few answers. This one person, what do you like about this song? The two perspectives of the cop and the black man are very interesting to me, and I love that Marshall is back with such raw emotion and putting a meaning to his rapping. Okay, cool. That's what he likes about it. What do you dislike? He said he's no expert in the mixing in the first half. It's fairly shaky at times, and the beat overpowers Eminem's voice at points in the track. I will admit that some of Eminem's classic songs, or even just the off tracks that only like the stands know about, not really, you know, your everyday people are going to find out about. Sometimes I don't know who's doing the mixing on them. I mean, I'm not saying I could do any better. I'm just saying, like, sometimes they feel rushed. Some songs sound muddy. I've listened to the same song on like multiple items and headphones and speakers and reference monitors to the point where I'm like, okay, it's not the device I'm listening to it on. It's the mixing in this. Some of the mixes could be better. But then his stuff is more about the message than the beat sometimes. I've never seen anybody like go, oh my god, I listen to Eminem for those hard banging instrumentals. I mean, Marshall Mathers LP was some of the simplest instrumentals I've ever heard, and that was Dre producing it. I believe this track was produced by Alex the Kid and Rick Rubin, but I could be wrong on that, but it seems pretty fire, and I like how it switches up the beat. I mean, hell, if I was mixing this, I would have a hard time keeping the fucking tempo and mixing delays and shit to the tempo, because it constantly switches up, which I like about it. This guy, let's see. What are your opinions on it politically? He says he's never been into politics, but he does agree with the message. He brings up points I think the public should be more aware of. There you go. That's what he thinks. What are your opinions on it personally? M rapping with emotion and meaning is always welcome to me. I think that the beat at the beginning is hype-inducing, and the beat in the second half is amazing. I asked him if it speaks to him. He said not in a personal way, not very much else to say on that. I guess he's got a decent life, you know. Hey, good on you, dude. Do you think he makes valid points? As I said in the previous question, I think he brings great points that society should be more aware of. And if M, you critiqued it. I already gave that answer. So, all in all, this song, I mean, this is just a review of one song. I am very hyped for the album coming out. Can't wait for that album to come out. It's next week. And so everybody on, Eminem subreddit, I want to tell you all that I love you guys. And I check in with you guys every day. And I'm one of you. But at the end of the day, I am trying to stay as subjective as I can. And I'm going to be doing more of these types of reviews and stuff. Other artists as well. And if you guys have anything that you think I should hear, put it in the comments on this channel. I read them. I reply to them. I'll check it out. And if you see something you want me to review that's different, that's unique, even if it's like rock or rap or country, let's expand our eclectic taste together. Let's just do that and see where it can take us, because I'm having so much fun with this. I got lighting, I got a backdrop, I got the mics, I got the computer. Let's just have some fun, man. It's about to be 2018, man. We are in the future. And the future's not looking so bright, but it's not looking that bad either. And we're getting there. And I think that's what that song is trying to make a lot of people understand. So with that said, let's see where the album takes us. And, yeah, I need to give my own... Did I give a review? Yeah, I mean, I've been discussing it. But all in, I think the song is pretty hard, very emotional, very deep, really speaks from multiple perspectives, which I like. Not a lot of people do that. They'll rap from their perspective and just go off on a million points throughout a song, and there's nothing wrong with that. But Eminem is speaking for the people, and that to me is like the coolest thing to do, you know. And I think he's speaking properly. I think he's definitely touching on the nerve of what a lot of people feel. White, black, cop, citizen, it's all in there. I guarantee you, if you came out of a coma from like 20 years ago, or let's just say you time traveled from like 1,000 years, or not 1,000, but whatever. If you didn't have an idea what's going on in like the last few years, you listen to the song, it'll catch you up. Okay. So with that said, out of 10, I'm gonna give this like a 7, 6.5. And you remember, 10 is like all time. I'm going to give this like a 6.5. I'm feeling it. I'm definitely feeling the song. You know, and what's funny is Walk on Water is the track 1, which we all guessed. And it's so like, you know, it's spacey and airy, and it's concerning. It's inner self awareness and self... what's the word I'm looking for? I can't talk today. But he's really diving deep into his own soul, and Beyonce's on it, and there's a whole message in that. And Untouchable is the 4th song, and it becomes this. I really can't wait to see like what happens from Walk on Water to this track. It's gonna just, you know, we'll see. There's a lot of hype around this album. So with that said, this is DNZY, 6.5, Untouchable. Look out next week for the Revival album review. A week from today, and I can't wait. Take care. This is DNZY signing off. Hasta mañana, your mother. Later.